What is up, guys? Cybermage here, and in this video we are going to be doing Bounty Hunter. Yeah, so I'm sick right now, so if I cough or whatever, or I pause for any reason, yeah, I'm sorry about that. But it's probably gonna happen in the middle of this video because it's probably gonna be over 30 minutes for sure. So yeah, I've already ran my scans, and as always, I have not done this before, so you're gonna see me suffer and do some dumb shit while I'm trying to solve this box. Let's get into this. So first thing is there's two ports open, 22 and 80, and obviously we're not going to start off with 22 since the only thing we could do is brute force, and that is a very inefficient way to do that, like to actually gain access. Yeah, we could do it if we do find some user information on port 80, but let's see what we find first, right? We have to find some key information that actually lets us lead or think of doing brute forcing on port 22, which is reasonable information, right? So right now we got nothing. And I also have burp running in the background, so yeah. We're gonna make sure we have all the requests being sent through burp. And because there's only port 80, which is probably going to be the way in, and assuming by the name as well, um, we are yeah, what was I even gonna say? Yeah, we have to make sure we just enumerate the website very much because it's probably hidden somewhere here. And as you can see, we have some of this JavaScript files that it's pulling, which might be an indication of something. Um, so I'm gonna do over here is I'm gonna write bounty, and we find nothing. Bounty lowercase. Strange. I might want to take a look at this a bit more thoroughly because I've encountered boxes where I just never looked enough into this. So function to do shoe scrolling. Okay, nothing really here. Email JS. Contact me. Strange. We can put this in repeater as well. We should take note of that. We do find stuff here. And really has nothing useful. Let's get to the next one. This is just so much. Let's try to write bounty in here. And we got nothing. Interesting. I don't expect anything to be in these. This all thing might have something. And this one I do want to check out more. This is interesting. Okay, nothing here. And yeah, just the same thing again. So let's go to the website now. And we do have this contact form. Yeah, give me 1 second. I gotta sneeze. All right, we are good to go. So now, what are we doing again? Yeah, we're over here. It has this. So we do find something actually speaking out to us, which is this user John over here. So we can take note of that as well. I'm gonna open my notepad for this. So John was found. Can use burp. Okay, that's just what it's saying. Bounty security. The B team. Let's go ahead and download this. And did it download anything? Did it even make a request? No, it didn't. It just goes back to the same page. So it really doesn't download anything. This contact about page is just here, and the portal is a portal.php. Portal under development. Go here to test. Interesting. And it seems like we're able to submit a bounty to this. And what it's asking for is ID. Interesting. Numbers here. And we do find this over here, bountylog.js. And it seems to be in an XML type of format, which is kind of annoying because this is probably going to be some XML injection type stuff. Let me just go to my notes for a second. Okay. And what am I looking for? XML, external entity. Perfect. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to submit some random stuff here. Exploit name. Let's call this RSC. Okay. So RSC over here, we'll just write some random numbers. Score, let's just do 7.2. I don't even know what I'm writing. And for bounty, we'll just write 909. If DB were ready, would have added this. So it's just not ready yet, apparently. And we can see it's actually sending this type of data to this, and this data is encrypted. Let's go ahead and decode this actually. Decoding, not decrypting. And base 64, and we do have this happening. We can see that we have all of this. Is it not properly? Like, how is it? 1 second. Interesting. And what we are going to do right now is decoder. It didn't decode the whole thing properly, did it? Let me try to URL or decode base 64 again. Let's just use this in CyberChef actually. CyberChef. Let's turn this. So it's really not getting everything that we need. But the main thing is that it has this at the top. It has the reward things over here. I'm going to see what happens if we turn this thing. And since we did base 64 encode this, let's put this to base 64. Paste this in here. QG equals Q. Okay, I just don't really get it. From hex? Nope. Decode. Okay, now we got it. So we URL decode and then we go to base 64. So here, that's what we got. So the shitty part is now I'm not really good with this vulnerability and I don't really encounter it anyway. So this is the first time me trying to do something with it. Looking at my notes, we're able to read files on the server. So we're gonna actually try to do one of these. So I just gotta take a look at my notes real quick. And this over here, so we know that it's URL decode and then base 64. So what we're gonna do is change base 64 to base 64, and we're gonna change this to URL encode. Perfect. And if we remove this and we put this in here, JQ, what the hell is going on? Let's send this to a repeater over here. And if we send this, do we get the same result? I'm gonna send this first. We actually don't get anything from it. Wow. But I feel like it should still be able to work. So let's go ahead and at the top of this, we're going to write doc file system over here. And from email system company, let me just look at my notes a bit more. We are going to add in one of these fields, let's go with the title. We're going to change this to company. Now, if this works out, we should be able to get the executable password file. and we didn't. And the reason we didn't is probably because we did not follow their format properly. That is probably why. So, how about if I do this URL encode all special characters and try it now? Nothing here. I mean, we're on the right track, it seems like. What I'm gonna try to do is if we go to decoder over here, let's go to decode as URL and then decode as base64. We do get the right thing over here. But every time I do this, go here, encode as URL. Look at this, just following a wrong approach. So put this here. It's probably not encoding all of it. That's the thing. It's kind of annoying, but I mean, we could figure this out still. So the way that we're gonna figure it out is what I'm thinking is, do I even need to add this? Can't I just like put something like okay, yeah, we definitely need to follow the format then. Okay. So let us figure this out now. So we have this, and for UR, or when we go to UR, where is it? We get the last line after CWE, it all gets messed up in here, right? So CWE, is it URL encoding the whole thing? Let's try to make this easier for us by actually seeing if it would work with an empty request here. It does work. It does work. It does work. It does work. So we have the empty request. It's not being sent through burp. Submit. Perfect. We have an empty request here. Okay, this is an empty request. So same type of situation. Okay. Let me check what is this rated as? So most of it is saying not too easy. Okay. I mean, I could do it, but like I just don't know how because I'm just not used to these type of exploits. Let me think a bit. You know what? Let's use ChatGPT for this actually. That tool exists for a reason. So let's go and check it out. ChatGPT. So I have this. How is this encoded? URL decoding. URL encoded. Towards this at the top or beginning of it, please add and add the company value to value in title. Bro, what son of a bitch. Okay, we do have this script. That's another way of doing this. So let's go with script dot, what is this? Python py. Let's see what it gets. Python script.py. We get this. This looks okay. Let's go ahead and try it out. Send to repeater. Here, paste. Why didn't it show? What the hell? Taking a look at my commands over here, and I just realized there's actually a tool that we can use to do this, which would make it much more easier for us. But let's see if it works or not. We'll try it out in this video. Let's make a directory for this box. BountyHunter cd bounty. And this tool is run with the Ruby. Okay, so there is quite a lot in here. Let's try this out. Let's see how it works. .txt. This is a valid request. We're going to copy this, paste it here, remove all of this. Yeah, we got to insert a value in here, and this is what we need to insert. Let's see how it works now. So Ruby this file equals request.txt. What is it missing now? Let's add the host. Trying to figure out what's going on here. So, okay, so in my notes we have, okay, we completed the file thing. And we're using this. And we're putting this as port 80. Okay, so that's not really working out for us. I guess we got to make this manually somehow. So from base 64, we have this. RT, which is at the end, which is RT. You know what? I just realized an idea. Bro, how do you do this? It's been a while. So we don't really have anything defined in here, and right when we, for example, execute this, let's do bounty submit execute. All right, didn't work. Update this code to print the output we give it. So we want at top and company value shown in the title section. This is basically the algorithm we are using. Mind my spelling because I'm pretty shit at it. So let's go ahead and put this in JavaScript, and it will give me this type of base64 payload. If I put this into this, let's see if it works first of all before I make any more adjustments to this. Send. Okay, so this didn't work for some reason. Let's go ahead and do the exact same thing, but instead of company here, let's put in this value, let's put hello. Okay, that didn't work. Let's go and do bro, let me just find the request and understand this first. So XML equals all of this. It's sent into base64 encoding, and it will run the base64 code. And what's this code snippet doing? Okay. Don't update or change anything in it, just fucking explain. Oh my gosh. And it's giving me the exact same type of detail, which I don't really need. change this. Write me a code that will Okay, this is getting more annoying. I think the manual method, just doing it myself, learning as I go, would be better at this point. Okay. It's getting the value from here. It's being sent. So we have this now. And we are just going to do print, or no, now you run the function bounty submit. Hopefully this works out. All right, let me go to the other chat, my private chat GPT, to try to do this instead of not signed in one. What's the error in this? Okay, that gave us this, pretty much. And this is return secret not defined. This is a function that we're gonna use this. I get an error that return secret where it is not defined. I think I can actually just show it to you guys. Get an error that return secret is not defined. The function I want to make that return secret needs to be like below. I want to print out the data value of this, not make a post request. Value of this, yeah, okay. The thing is that the post request URL encodes it, or does it not? If it does, I need it to go through that and give me the new data value. Give me full code now. All right, let's try this out. This is probably not gonna work out. And to confirm this, we can just go into burp. I don't think this is gonna work. I sent manually and got no response from the server. So your code didn't do what the server I built wanted. I need you to replicate that request or JS script I gave you. Print the data value so I can manually send it. All right, let's see if this works now. This does not look like it's gonna work. All right, it did not work. I'm gonna go ahead and say this again. Did not work again. This is the exact JavaScript file that the data enters goes through and makes that post request with the data entered. I just want the data value that will be sent so I can manually send it to my server. I have a valid request on burp already. You just need to give me the data value for me to copy and paste it in. This is a sample of a working value. Interesting. So it's literally giving me a curl command this time to try it with. Copy message. Maybe this would work better with curl. This is the response. It did not display the value we wanted. Bro, this is actually fucking me over, man. Let me just go to uh the walkthrough. Okay. Yeah, no shit, bro. I don't get it with base 64 decoding. I'm not getting it. Let me URL decode this first. Okay, that's fine. Let's go ahead and copy all of this, paste into here. We have this decode base64, or sorry, not decode, encode base64. We get the exact same value. Let's go ahead and change this to leave me alone. I'm gonna go ahead and URL encode this. And the thing is, it's doing too much. But let's see if this works with just base64. If it doesn't, then we can go ahead and URL encode key characters only. And it does work. Okay. Thank God. I don't know what was going on with me, but yeah. Let's try now to edit this up more. So now I'm gonna go ahead and add this to the very top here. And I'm gonna change the title to and company this. Copy this, paste it in here, copy all of that, and we can now URL encode key characters. It does not work. Oof. So it's not really working for us. That is fine for some reason. Um, let's see what else we have in my notes. Ooh, hoo, 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 hoo. Let's try this over here. It's copy this, paste this over in repeater, and we can URL encode key characters, send it, and we don't get anything. So we do notice that this does work. I'm gonna go to the walkthrough and see what else is actually going on, because why not at this point? And oh my goodness, it's supposed to go below that, not above it. Okay. So yeah, so I don't do this often. I don't encounter boxes like this. I'm not good with it, but whatever. So if I just take this, remove this here, and in my notes, it doesn't even mention that. It's not even in here about that. Let me just double check. Intro, yeah, it's below it. All right, it's below it. Yo, we all make mistakes. This is just one of them. That's on me. Whatever. So root error, we have all of this. Let's go ahead and copy this, because the thing is that I know that when it does not show you or give you anything results, it's a formatting error, but I just I didn't understand what's wrong with the format. So I kept focusing on the encoding and stuff like that, but it really wasn't that. It was the way that it was done. So let's go ahead and encode key characters, and hopefully this does return executable password, and it does. Oh, okay. All right, so we have this, and we notice the user development and development over here. Yeah. So what file does it want us to access? Well, I don't know what to do from here, but there is a remote code execution way of doing this. So let me just look at my notes real quick. We're not going to do this. We are going to do remote code execution with this. Perfect. So let's go ahead and try this out. Semi notes. We're going to make a file called shell.php over here. And from this, let's just run a web server. Perfect. Now we can go back to burp. Over here, we're going to change this to this. Expect curl our IP. I don't know if this is going to work, but worth a try. Just straight up trying something. 1410, and we can go ahead and change this to what? Company. So I'm gonna go ahead and copy all of this. Paste this in here. URL encode key characters and paste it. And it's probably a formatting error, which is why we got nothing back. Okay. Let's go ahead and try it again with another method. Actually, I'm going to try to make this a bit more different. We're going to remove all of this and all of this. Put a space here and put a space over here and see how well this one works. Convert URL key. No, okay. Decoder again. Well, we tried this. I don't think it's gonna work then. Company system. Company to curl. We're gonna try two more. One is with this. Okay. And the other one is just me putting the single quotes here. Oops. Code base 64. Copy. Okay. So we're really not getting anything back, and we're getting some formatting issues, I guess. But that is no worries. Now my next thing is that we could probably read files from the server, so why not try to we have the file permissions. Let's try to actually brute force some of the files that could be hidden on this, and from that we could probably gain the source code of that user over here. And we're just gonna go and write fuzz. So we do have this resources, portal.php. Oh, we do have a db.php, which doesn't reveal anything. But we do have this file, which is what we're looking for. Perfect. So we are going to use this command over here. Let me just go over here to decoder. I'm going to go ahead and remove this and add this. This one, we're going to go for a simple one, or yeah, we'll go for db.php. And hopefully this will work. Peter URL encode key characters, and there we go. Your boy got it. Now with this, we can just copy this, and I'm going to use it in CyberChef. And we have an admin username and a password. This password, we're going to try it with two types of things. Let's go and try it with SSH developer 100. Yes. Come on. No, what the hell? Root. Is my IP correct? Yeah, .100. Maybe we should go back to the executable file that we found. Let me just send this to repeater again. Development. That's what it was. Development. Development and enter password. And voila, we are in. So that's where our user.txt file. Unfortunately, we couldn't do it without some hints. And the main hint that we needed was that I kept thinking, or the mistake that I made was I kept thinking that there was, well, I was correct that there was a formatting issue with it, but my formatting, it wasn't that type of formatting. It was basically that I was putting this code above this, which should be below it, and I kept thinking about URL encoding issues that is probably happening in it and figuring out different ways to make this work. So that's where I went wrong. But now we have we're on, and let's go ahead and try to figure this out now. So let's do sudo -l, and we do have this no password place on this. So if we do ls dash this, we only have readability and executability now from this. We don't have anything else that we can use. And additionally, this is a full path. Maybe if we go over here, read execute, yeah, nothing else. Let us try now to see what this has in it. So it's basically saying do diff evaluate. Let's actually just run the code and figure this out later. Sudo paste, please enter path to the ticket file. Okay, let me do executable slash or give me a file that's executable slash hosts. I'm gonna pipe in ID as well. All right, what the hell? Okay, now let's take a look at what's going on. So the first thing that it shows us is please enter a path to the ticket, which is right here. Load file, we're trying to load a file. And for debug area, it's going to print ticket. Let's try that again. ID, wrong file type. What file type does it want? Let's go ahead and, oh, wrong file type. .md file, that's what it's looking for. So when it's going to open this file, load file, and it runs this, turn lock this ticket file, the result becomes evaluate ticket. So it's going to run the evaluate function, which is right here. It's going to read each of the lines from the ticket file. It seems, if not, start with this, return false. Okay, what the hell is going on? Let's create an MD file first, or there is a context.txt. Let's go check it out. TLB out of this web, please make sure that our contact with this is our first job, since we can't mess this up. Whenever one of you gets on, please have a look at our internal tools they sent over. They have been handful. So I'm gonna look for any MD files that there might be over here. Maybe in temp, no, in op directory, Skytrain. Okay, invalid tickets. Cat 39. So we have all of this though. Let's go ahead and try to run that command that we were trying to do. And let's enter one of these ticket paths. Invalid tickets. And let's go with this one over here. Or actually the one that we saw would be better. Let's try to do it again and do some command injection. Curl 10.10.14.10, and let's send this to port 80. Python 380. Oops. 10.10.14.10. Wrong file type. Ticket code is this. 52. Let's view this one. Okay, let's make a ticket over here actually. Let's call this nano file.md. Curl plus, or curl 10.10.14.10. What the hell? Permission denied. Okay. Nano file.md curl 10.10.14.10. Okay. Slash temp slash file.md. Bro, how? Okay, let me just read the damn code, man. And we're probably going to use ChatGPT to explain whatever we're missing. Let me just straight up use ChatGPT. What's this code do? Opens it in read mode, exit it if the file isn't a markdown file. Reads each line in the file one by one, keeps track of the number line using enumerate. Okay. Line 1 check. Okay. The second line must start with ticket 2. It prints the Hmm. Oh, there's an eval function here, apparently. Where is eval? I think it's talking about the evaluate portion of it. Validation number. Oh, right here. Let me try this. Nano file.md. From here, we will do curl 10.10.14.10. Let's see what happens. Temp file.md. No, we didn't get anything back. Nano file.md. I think you should follow the file format first, and then, oh yeah, it needs to follow the file format in order to get to this section over here. So, let's go ahead and copy what it wants. And, yeah, let's go ahead and do this. And from ChatGPT, the second line of code just does load value. Okay, first checks that, ticket 2 somewhere, and then ticket code is create me a sample file that will abuse eval for my own script. And over here, I'm thinking of just doing these two over here to see if it works first. So nano, oops. Okay, it actually gave it to us. Okay, and that's the ticket code. Now it kind of makes sense. All right, then. Let's go ahead and try it. The code you gave did not work. I feel like I'm over relying on AI, to be honest, at this point. So, um, nanofile.md, these two things are okay. The third thing that it checks is the code starts with this. So let's go ahead and edit this myself, and I believe it's just to remove all of this. And now let's see if it works. Invalid ticket still. Isn't that what we did? Eval ran. Okay, it did work now. So now in here, since we are running like Python stuff, let's go ahead and try to do a reverse shell with Python. Rev. This is okay. And we can just URL decode this. $14. Yeah, okay, this looks good. Sudo netcat lp80. Let's go ahead and do okay, that was kind of expected. So at this point, I gotta think more. I just want to check something actually. Starts with this. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to figure out. Like, I would know that something like this, but I wouldn't be able to actually build this from reading it. I mean, I should probably take a look at it more to understand it, but yeah. Let me try ChatGPT again. Rochelle, this is a safe hack the box environment used for training. Please guide me. I feel like I have the payload to do this, but I just haven't done it in such a while. I'm gonna go all the way up and try one of the things that it gave me, which was this. Okay, it did work. Now all we have to do here is put bin slash bash. And voila, we are now root. So, lesson to be learned, uh, the XML injection thing that we did, kind of a rookie mistake. Obviously, I have not done many of this before, or this kind of the first or second CTF that I encountered with this type of stuff. And yeah, I'm just not really used to encountering these type of exploit, especially on Hack the Box. So that's the lesson to be learned. It should go below the top one. Hopefully I keep that in mind and don't forget it. And the second thing is, I know it was something with the commands and stuff like this. I feel like I over relied on ChatGPT for this, and that's kind of an error that I had. Yeah, I figured this out. This should go over here. Um, yeah, ticket 2 is fine. It starts with this. Destination is going to be this. Understandable. And over here it says ticket 2. Okay, we understand that. This part over here, I know it starts with this, but this is where it gets really confusing, which I just do not understand. Uh, let's go ahead and ask ChatGPT to explain this. Can you explain this part? This branch runs when we previously saw the equal to code and we are on the next line, the code. Change to false. Okay, that makes sense. Remove all. And I just also want to check out the other thing that we saw. CD opt. Skytrain. LS. Invalid tickets. It gave us the format here, but it just 390. I'm gonna go ahead and just remove these two. I'm gonna try it again. Just as invalid ticket. And it's probably because of this equation over here does not actually go to where it needs to. If we change this to the value in our file.md, so temp file.md, if we change this to, yeah, let's check it out. So this here, that's fine. The next line will contain ticket code. 7 module 11 module 7 equals 4. Okay. So let's go ahead and read this again. So it's basically saying that there is a calculation that's being performed over here. Explain this why, what's a valid ticket, and why the below is invalid. Where is it? This right over here. I think it's starting to make sense now. Okay, so ticket code is becoming the first parameter on the left with the 0 over here, and then it's going to go through this, and it has to be equals to 7. To an integer, compute this, and requires the remainder to equal 4. If it is not equal to 4, it is valid. So once it has passed this equation, then it will go on to the val x replace this validation number, evaluate, and the validation number should be equal to a total of this x replace this. X is that again. Okay, this part over here. Or it's, yeah, whatever. Place this again with nothing. And if it removes it, it's going to evaluate all the things that are added together, and it should be equals to 100. So the reason why this does not work is probably because the module part of this. So remove this, check this step by step is the remainder of 3. So 7, 14, 1, 28, 28, 3 is the remainder. So all we have to do is change this to 32. So if we go to nano 39 here, change this to 32, and we run this again, okay, invalid ticket, bro. It says 32 satisfies it. So the next part of the equation is that 32, it is also greater than 100. So cat 39. So let's go ahead and check that out. And this is very important when doing boxes to actually learn them as you go. So cat. Oh, it says valid ticket. What the hell? It says valid ticket, so it worked out. It doesn't say invalid, it says valid ticket. Okay, so it worked out. Okay, so now that it worked out, the way that the execution was working over here is that encode this, it had to add everything up. So it was adding everything up. If x replace x is equals to what again? 2 I x 2 x is equal to the whole line. So it's replacing this in the whole line, and it's equals to just adding everything up, and it should be greater than 100. So since it's just adding everything up, if I go to my file in executable slash, oh, sorry, where is it? Temp slash file. If I go ahead and remove all of this, and I just do this, and the next thing I just do is this, would it work out? Okay, it's actually not complete yet, damn it. So I remove all of this. Oops. Let's go ahead and remove all of this. Paste this in here. Go ahead and close this out now. Save. And damn it, we don't have permissions for some reason. I'm going to go ahead and exit this. Clear nano file. Okay, I'm actually not going to modify this. And go file 2.md and try it now. Temp file 2.md, and we still become root. So that is there. It still works out. So you pretty much understood how this file is working. Obviously, we could have fixed the bottom line to actually make this command work properly without this error. But I guess this is pretty good enough for a learning standpoint. Yeah, that is pretty much it. You know, just my curiosity at this point getting to me. Eval. Let's go ahead and do cat temp file 2.md. This gets me a shell. However, I don't want this error. Oh, is it because I need to add a plus here? Is that it? Bro. Yeah, kind of ChatGPT is kind of annoying. And regardless, it did work. I think it's a plus that it needs, but regardless, I know it's looking for a number to have at the end, so it can actually evaluate the number. I think that's what the issue that's happening. So over here, when it goes to evaluate the number, it realized, hey, this is not an actual number, and it cannot return true. That's that's what I'm thinking. Anyways, yeah, that's it for the video. I'll stop here. How long has it been? 1 hour, 36 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and collect the flags. Personally, I would rate this as um, in between not too easy and medium, only because you don't encounter XML injection a lot. And that code thing, would I have been able to figure it out now that I understood it properly? I think I would have. You know, you encounter these codes. I've encountered harder codes than this before, and I figured it out. But I was kind of like lazy, and I'm too reliant on AI to make me understand things. So, yeah, that is pretty much it. And this code type of thing, I don't think it would be that amazing for beginners, especially to call it easy, which is why I would rate it in that category.
So yeah, that's it for the box. Take care, guys, and I'll see you for the next one.